to launch nuclear weapons, before they're able to further unleash the roundups and demonization of immigrants. But this is moving rapidly, and there is time, but there is precious little time. And that is why today, Refuse Fascism, the people who began on November 4th, are marking this anniversary in the streets again. And in a few minutes, we're going to be marching to Trump Tower. And along the way, we're going to be spreading the word and the message that this Saturday is week 2 of growing waves of protest, continuing and not stopping until our demand is met. This nightmare must end. The Trump Pence regime must go. Okay? There's going to be these red cards that we're going to be getting out to let people know where to be this Saturday at 2 p.m. To be right here at Staten Jackson this Saturday at 2 p.m. To say no war, no Trump.
Hell yeah. No Trump.
Brave South Koreans were coming into the streets in the face of police repression, being attacked and standing up. And we have to have their backs and stand with the people of the world.
That's right.
We have to have soul like they did in Seoul, South Korea, when the millions there took to the streets and drove their president out in the beginning of this year. We need to take heart and inspiration from what they've done and what they are doing now. Standing with the people of the world to reject a Trump America and the devastation to humanity that will cause. And we must double down and commit ourselves to resolve that we will not accept a fascist America. So say it along with me. Put your hand in the air, make a fist, and repeat after me. In the name of humanity.
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 We refuse.
We refuse.
We refuse.
We refuse
to accept
a
fascist America.
A fascist America.
Trump Pence must go.
Trump Pence must go.
Drive them out.
Drive them out.
Thank you.
All right.
Does anybody else want to say anything before we're going to march here in about 7 minutes?
Hello, what's going on?
Anybody else want to come up and say something, how they're feeling on this
friends and also to
1 year anniversary of the election?
Once again, this is Roosevelt, and I'm coming live on YouTube Live, and also live on Facebook. For all of y'all of my Facebook friends who have seen the video, coming live from downtown Chicago. And this today is the anniversary of the election of our so-called President Donald Trump. And we're also fighting and telling people to stand against this regime and drive this wicked regime out. In a few more minutes, we are going to be marching from here in downtown Chicago, from Jackson and State, all the way to Trump Towers, protesting the end of this regime. So I'm going to stay live, and I want everybody to tune in, and I want everybody to share this video. Until then, we're going to listen to a couple of the other speakers who are speaking right here.
It says in the religious books,
at the DePaul
if you ignore the signs, then you are surely damned.
Of Jackson and State.
And the people who walk back and forth to and fro, not caring, have normalized what's going on here in this country, in this world. And just watch out, because the religious books say, you know, if you just walk to and fro, you don't care what's going on in this world, you see the signs, but you ignore them. That is asking to be put in hell. I hate to say it, but, you know, people of conscience, stand up and fight for what they believe in, whether you believe in God or not. If you have a conscience, you will stand with us today and the next day and fight. We're going to be out here every day until the Trump Pence regime is removed. Thank you.
Yeah, let's warm up for the march. All right.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger.
to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to
Drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out.
Watching the Trump Tower.
Trump Tower, 5 o'clock. This is the anniversary of the fascist in charge. Drive him out. Drive them out. Drive out the Trump Pence regime. Drive out the Trump Pence regime. It's a nightmare. A nightmare needs to end. Come with us to Trump Tower at 5 o'clock. End the nightmare. Trump and Pence, let's go. 5 o'clock. No,
Once again, good evening to everybody who's watching. Hello to all of my friends and also to all of my Facebook friends and YouTube subscribers. Once again, this is Roosevelt and we are coming live from downtown Chicago. And today is the 1-year anniversary of Election Day, also better known as D-Day, when Donald Trump was put into the White House. So us in Chicago, Illinois, are protesting the end, or hoping and praying for the end of this evil, wicked regime, a regime that is racist, a regime that is Islamophobic, a regime that is xenophobic, a regime that has spoken and created terror tactics against Muslims, against immigrants, against blacks, against everybody who is not part of the 1%.
Trump and Pence are fascists.
So we are protesting against this fascist regime. So we're getting ready to march to Trump Towers in a couple of more minutes. Right now we are here at the DePaul campus, and right now some of the other protesters who are with me are participating in some of the chanting. Let you all see a little bit what's happening.
Drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists.
Are you going with the march?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you, sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm going with the march.
Rise up, rise up, drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists. Rise up, drive them out.
Okay, I think we're marching, y'all. Saturday.
No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
Thank you very much.
Here you go.
Yeah, I know, it's hard.
Oh, my fault, brother.
Don't worry, we're not gonna let anybody run over you. Okay?
Yeah, we out here, so.
We're out here. Yeah.
So one of the protesters dropped some of these cards.
Y'all can have that.
All right.
Here.
My apology, brother.
All right.
It's cool. Okay. Let's go catch up with the rest of everybody else. Drive them out!
Rise up!
Rise up! Drive them out! Rise up! Drive them out! Chicago police bike cops right there. Rise up, drive them out!
fascists in the White House. Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
Drive them out!
Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House. Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House. Trump and Pence are fascists.
There's no doubt. Rise up, drive them out.
Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt. Rise up, drive them out. Rise up, drive them out. Rise up, drive them out. Danger, danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
To drive them out! It's up to us to drive them out.
There's a fascist in the White House. There's a fascist in the White House.
walking through the shopping district on Shop State Street, and we're headed towards Trump Towers. And we're protesting the 1-year anniversary of the election of Donald Trump.
What's up, bro?
Hey, say hello to my YouTube live audience.
What it is, what it is, trying to tell my birthday tomorrow, what it is. Get short, what it is. The days you wanna watch it. Get Trump ass up out of there.
We got a lot of Chicago police bike cops right here. We're passing by Macy's on State Street. To us, to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House. Danger, there's a fascist in the White House. Rise up, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
To drive them out. It's up to us. Drive them out. Getting ready to pass by the legendary Chicago Theater. We're almost a block away from the Trump Towers. Coming up, we're down on State Street, that great street, getting ready to approach Lake Street.
Danger, there's a fascist in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise of people, there's a fascist in the White House. Danger, there's a fascist in the White House. Rise of, there's a fascist in the White House.
We're half a block away from Trump Towers, y'all.
To him. So if you want to try to kill him, just follow the dude with the sign right up in this corner. They keep fucking with him.
Yeah, I noticed. Don't worry, I'm on YouTube Live. Huh? I guess. Hey, say hello to my YouTube Live audience. That's what I say too. And I make sure.
Just sit at home watching these videos. Come on out. Go to refusefascism.org.
Oh, and I put that hashtag in the description this time. Just like you told me. Y'all, we're just about here at Trump Towers. A few more steps and we're there. For those of y'all who just tuned in, we're coming live from downtown Chicago at the anniversary of the 1-year anniversary of Donald Trump being elected president of this country. And we are here in downtown Chicago, me and several other protesters, a whole lot of us here in front of Trump Towers in downtown Chicago, protesting the immediate end of this evil presidency. I'll let y'all see what's going on. Good evening to all of you all.
fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity.
no Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, Pence, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No Trump, no Pence, no fascist USA.
No Pence, no fascist USA.
Okay, so in a few minutes we want to gather everybody that's here. This is the anniversary of a nightmare that was born a year ago. Well, it's actually been decades in the coming, but they took power a year ago, and we're here not just to mourn, but we're here to voice our determination and to gather our forces to drive this nightmare out of power. So I want to keep the chants going for a couple more minutes, and then I want us to gather around and hear some of the voices who are here, some of the people who are here and why people are here, and what we're here to do, and what we're here as part of all over the country, and the urgency, the danger to humanity we confront, and the urgency and the stakes in what we've come here and gathered ourselves together to be part of doing, again, here and throughout the country. Well, let's do these chants for a couple more minutes and gather people, and then we'll kick this thing off. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump,
World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA.
no Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. Okay, I want us to gather here. We're gonna gather and rally here. And we're gonna be gathering ourselves. We're doing this today with people all over the country. With people all over the country, and with our brothers and sisters in South Korea who have been heroically protesting for days the threat that Trump means for South Korea humanity. Now I want to bring up Lena from Refuse Fascism. She's going to talk about why we're here and get this rally kicked off. This is Lena.
Yeah! How you doing?
1 year ago, how many people couldn't sleep all night? How many people spent the next day in bed sobbing? How many people took to the streets across the country, including right here in Chicago? Thousands of people shut down Lakeshore Drive because we were so full of agony over the prospect of the pussy grabber in chief.
Pussy drop.
Well, right now, 365 days later, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
We are going to take to the streets day after day, night after night, until in our millions we force a situation where this regime, headed up by the pussy grabber in chief, is driven from power. It began Saturday, November 4th, in more than 20 different cities around this country. People took to the streets, including here in Chicago, and we are continuing to protest because this is unacceptable to have a fascist America. Trump and Pence must go.
Yeah.
This nightmare must end. And it's up to us, the people, to end this nightmare.
Yes.
What do we lead us? Where would you lead us in the pledge?
A prayer. Say prayer.
No, and then we'll bring some other people up.
A prayer will help. Let's put God in this, man.
You speak first, and then we'll do the pledges.
Okay, let's hear from Ramon here from Refuse Fascism.
Yeah.
My name is Ramon. Since Trump got in power, he's done many atrocities. But I got mostly affected by the way he treated my people in Puerto Rico. It took a month for me to be able to speak to my mom. She still has no electricity. She's 80 years old. She's in insulin and she's going through hell. She can even get stuff in the mail. She can even get money if I send her any, because there's no mail going through, at least not yet. So, Puerto Rico is 100 miles long by 35 wide. It's a small island. About 400 miles from here. If United States could invade countries across the globe, how can even help an island 400 miles away, 100 miles long by 35?
That's right.
That's inconceivable. Now, they're threatening North Korea with war, probably nuclear war. What are we gonna do about this? We cannot stand here and go home and just let it happen. Because if you think it's not happening, it is happening. And you better wake up and do something about it. Because if possibly a nuclear war, everyone loses. Everyone. That's all I gotta say, because I'm not a big talker, but get to think about this.
Each one of us are just ordinary human beings. That's how we're gonna actually do this. What's that? Come on. Ordinary human beings. All right. My name is Christina. I am a high school student, and I am here because, you know, these guys are fucking fascists.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And no one can afford to be a bystander when we have literal fascists trying to undermine our Constitution, undermine our rule of law, and when they're enacting crimes against humanity every day, when our president
threatens nuclear holocaust casually, when he threatens to deport millions of people casually. It's inhumane. And, you know, even if you're not someone who has a lot of power in the system, even if you are, even, you know, no matter who you are, no one is too insignificant to do anything. We're all, like earlier said, we all are ordinary people, and that's how, you know, like, we are the masses. We are the ones who can bring about, the government should be accountable to us, and we have to make them accountable, and that means getting in the streets night after night, day after day. And I urge everyone to get out here, and I mean students specifically, because, you know, the young people, we should be vanguards of the revolution or whatever, but like, but everybody is gonna have something to lose. And even if you're the most privileged person in this country, what Trump is threatening to do to North Korea, what Trump has failed to do regarding Puerto Rico, that should scare you, that should shake you to your core, that should make you horrified at these abuses. You know, like, these are real people, these are millions of real people that are gonna die if we don't do something. That's right. That's right. Yes. So, do something.
Hell yeah. This is not a reality TV show, Donald Trump. This is real. We are not going to go home. We are not going to stop. Saturday here in Chicago, November 11th, it's Veterans Day. We're saying no nukes, no Trump. Meet us at State and Jackson at 2 p.m. Find out more at refusefascism.org.
All right.
Noche.
Right now, right now.
Trump and Pence must go! 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 So look, a year ago, this nightmare began. And most of you probably remember the next day. You could see it on people's faces. The disgust. To know that we live in a country still where tens of millions of people can hear someone openly call a whole race of people Mexicans who are all rapists, thugs, criminals, and drug dealers, and be elected to the highest office in the land. To wake up and find out that someone was caught on camera bragging about sexual assault against women, which is supposed to ruin you, is voted to the highest office in the land. There's a lot of righteous outrage going on right now all over the world against the sexual assault against women. The hashtag #MeToo, some of you have seen it. It's very important that women are finally speaking truth to power about the situation they have faced. But imagine if all the people who are accused of all these horrible things being done to women were then, after being accused of this and found out about this, voted president. Because that's what we are dealing with in Donald Trump. And far worse. Now, the day after, people didn't just fall to despair. People poured out in the hundreds of thousands all across the country saying, "Not my president." But here we are a year later, and he is still the president. And our resistance has to go from just fighting every bad thing that he does to making "not my president" become "not the president." Not the president! 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 And I encourage everyone to look at what the people in South Korea are doing right now, and what they've been doing all year, and some last year too. Okay? They didn't just stop with a protest. They didn't just stop with a few hundred people and then few thousand coming out. They continued week after week and day after day, taking to the streets until those hundreds became thousands, became hundreds of thousands, and became millions, and they forced their president from power. Yeah. Those are my soul brothers and sisters down there.
Yeah!
Okay? And we gotta learn that lesson from them, and look at what they're doing even now, because Trump is stomping all around Asia this week. Okay? Talking about the great might of the American empire, threatening and bullying people all over the world. It's hard to find another human being on this planet that can make someone like Kim Jong-un look like a level-headed, reasonable character. Okay? But that's what you have in Donald Trump. A demented bully with his finger on the nuclear button. Okay? And it's, you know, it's absolutely true that nuclear wars could jeopardize the whole future of humanity. But even if it were just the people in Korea, those are our people. Those are human beings. Tens of millions of human beings who Donald Trump said he would totally annihilate. You have the head of state threatening to totally annihilate North Korea and its people. We don't need any more reasons to get rid of him.
Don't fucking push me!
And take a look at what we have going on here. Because this is no isolated incident. This is not just some lunatic coming off the street. This is what they're letting loose across the country. Vile, threatening thugs. Followers of Donald Trump.
We need help! He needs to go!
You cool, bro?
He not.
Like the Ku Klux Klansmen and Nazis in Charlottesville that ran over and killed Heather Heyer. Like the neo-Nazis in Florida who opened fire on protesters. Like the Nazis in Tennessee who terrorized and threatened.
I know, but I'm a rebel for the cause. You don't come to
You right.
This is why we have said now is the time to call out to the millions who do not want to live in a fascist America. Now is the time to find our courage and our strength. Now is the time to overcome the fear and the uncertainty. Because if we do not stop them now, and they are allowed to consolidate power and further let this loose, you will have more Charlottesvilles, okay? You will have more Tennessees, more Floridas, more armies of fascist thugs, not just in power in the White House, but let loose in the streets to threaten, intimidate the people who should know better. That is why we have to tell people now is our time to rise up. Now is the time to drive them out. Now is the time for the millions to begin with us who have found our courage and our strength by looking this in the face. Fear is no reason to be inactive. Fear is the reason to act now. Let it not be said that we did not move heaven and earth to drive this regime from power. Let it not be said that we did not learn the lessons from Nazi Germany. Let it not be said that we were the good Germans to the American Hitler. Let it not be said that first they came for the Muslims and we said nothing, and then they came for the immigrants and we only protested a little bit, and then they went after LGBTQ people and we spoke out only on Twitter, and then they killed people in the streets and we stayed home. No! 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 Put your hand in the air and make a fist. No!
No!
In the name of humanity! In the name of humanity!
In the name of humanity!
We refuse to accept!
Refuse to accept
a fascist America!
a fascist America!
Trump and Pence must go!
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 Can we get a time check?
That was good, boy. That was good, boy.
20. 5.
Hello, good evening for all of y'all who've tuned in. This is Roosevelt coming live from downtown Chicago, Illinois, and we are live at the anti-Trump.
We're here, as everybody's heard, as everybody's just been talking about, because we confront something with very high stakes for humanity. We confront a fascist regime. So I want us to say together, no, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, folks. We wanted to make sure, first of all, we want to make sure everybody knows this is a movement that has begun, and this is a movement that's not gonna stop until the fascists are out of power. And we're calling forward the millions who are disgusted and horrified by this nightmare of a fascist presidency to come into the streets with us and not stop protesting until it's driven from power. So this Saturday at 2 p.m. on the occasion of Veterans Day, we're going to be protesting, right, the 11th, we're going to be at State and Jackson at 2 p.m. saying no nuclear war, no war on North Korea, no Donald Trump, the Trump Pence regime must go. So that's one thing we want to make sure, and everybody here should be part of getting the word out everywhere, all over social media. Take flyers, take pluggers, get it out everywhere. What we're going to do now with all of us who are here is we're going to march down Michigan. Yeah. We're going to go and march down the sidewalk. We're going to go so that people out in the streets can see us and hear us. Because we got to reach those millions. We got to reach the people who are disgusted by this, and we got to call them into the streets with us. We got to call them out into the public squares. We got to call them into action. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go take this walking, take this marching. People should grab signs. If you don't have a sign, you can grab a sign. You should grab a bunch of these cards. We got like tons of them. And you should take a bunch of these cards, pass them out along the way while we're marching down Michigan Avenue, and take extras to take when you leave today, at the end of the day, so that you can get them out all week long. And we can bring people out into the streets on Saturday. There's going to be protests all across the country this Saturday. As part of the movement to drive this regime from power, we're calling people out into the streets, into the public squares, into the fight to put an end to this fascist regime at the soonest possible time. Oh, and the way to stay connected, and people should do this now.
This is Roosevelt
I'm
again.
assuming most people here have cell phones.
If you want to hear this guy
share
this video, as you heard,
if people have cell phones, take your phones out.
Magnificent Mile. We're getting ready to march down
Trump,
Michigan.
One word to 33222.
Message out.
And if you do that, you will get messages of what's happening, when the protests are happening, how to find them, how to be part of it. It's 33222 and text no Trump, one word, 33222, and you will be able to stay connected. But right now, let's get ready to march. Where'd our drummer go? Hey, drummers, Iggy. Okay, we need some drum beats. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Alright, I'm gonna switch it up a bit. Go back to the In the Name of Humanity one. So everybody, if you know it, come on, let's go. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity.
of humanity. Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity. Stop the insanity.
No bombs, no nukes.
No fascist USA. In the name of humanity. Stop the insanity. No bombs, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity. Stop the insanity. No bombs, no fascist USA. In the name of humanity. Stop the insanity. No fascist USA. No bombs, no nukes, 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 no fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No fascist USA. In the name of humanity, stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no. No bombs, no nukes. No bombs, no nukes. Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt. Rise up, drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt. Rise up, drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt. Rise up, drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt. Rise up, drive them out. Rise up, drive them out. Rise up, drive them out. All right, we got to get organized to drive out the Trump Pence fascist regime. Because if they're not just white supremacists, with them saying that the Klansmen are fine people, with them denying the murder of somebody out in Charlottesville, with them going about saying that there was violence on both sides, they're not just women-hating bigots, with them putting it on the global gag order, with them trying to deny AIDS and HIV treatment for women and LGBTQ people and all people all around the world. They're not just gay and lesbian and bisexual haters, even though they're trying to put in conversion therapy. Look, fascism has direction. And all these different things they're doing with the environment, with people, with groups of people all around the world has direction and momentum. So we gotta drive them out. It's not just good enough to try and get just Trump impeached because Pence is still there, because Kelly is still there, because the rest of his cabinet's still there, and you're damn sure DeVos and Carson aren't about humanity either. So we gotta get together and drive out this Trump Pence regime ASAP. So ready? Let's go through another round of this one real quick.
All right.
Danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there's fascists in the White House.
It's up to us
to drive them out. Danger, there's fascists in the White House. It's up to us
to drive them out.
Rise up, there's fascists in the White House.
It's up to us
to drive them out. All right. No Trump, no Pence. No Trump, no Pence. This don't make no sense. Let's stop these fascist, racist men putting humanity at risk. No Trump, no Pence. This don't make no sense. Let's stop these fascist, racist men putting humanity at risk. No Trump, no Pence. This don't make no sense. Let's stop these fascist, racist men putting humanity at risk. No Trump, no Pence. This shit don't make no sense. Let's stop these fascist, racist men putting humanity at risk. No Trump, no Pence. This don't make no sense. Let's stop these fascist, racist men putting humanity at risk. All right.
All right, We're going to take our message that the Trump Pence regime must go to Michigan Avenue. I don't care where you're from, who you are, who you love, what color your skin is, how much money you make. Doesn't matter. If you're a human fucking being, you better be with us right now. Say, Trump and Pence must go! Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
All right, let's go!
First of all, good evening to everybody again, everybody who's tuning in right now. We're getting ready to leave or depart from Trump Towers, and we're headed down the street towards Michigan Avenue, and I think we're going to march north on Michigan towards the Magnificent Mile. Let y'all see what's happening. Good evening to everybody.
When you have a conscience, you do something because you have to. That's what having a conscience is. And we all here have this conscience, whether we believe in God or not. And if you do believe in God, you believe in signs. And, you know, if you see the signs and you don't act on the signs, like threat of nuclear war, racism, sexism, all these things. Okay, enough of the speeches, we're going to do some chants.
Is that a pit bull?
Trump and Pence must go! Rise up! Trump and Pence must go!
Trump and Pence must go!
Let me restart.
They have stickers and signs all over this.
Trump and Pence must go! Rise up! Rise up! Rise them out!
Big Chicago police vehicle, I believe, right there. Looks like the size of like a UPS truck or something.
Trump and Pence are fascists! There's no doubt! Rise up! Rise up! Trump and Pence are fascists! There's no doubt!
He is kind of a Confederate.
Trump and Pence are fascists! There's no doubt! Rise up! Rise up! Drive them out! Trump and
Michigan
Pence
Avenue,
are fascists!
apparently. Gonna tell Joe.
Rise up! Rise up! Drive them out!
Get a picture with this later on. Okay. That's a good shot that I got of you and I hate the picture of me, but I don't like the picture of me.
There's another shot of the Trump Towers as we get ready to walk away from it.
It's out there.
Rise up! Rise up! Trump and Pence are fascists!
Did you end up going out?
Rise up! Rise
Did you
up!
end up going out? Did you see the music last weekend?
Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to
Okay, y'all, we're at Michigan Avenue at the corner of Michigan and Wacker. We're crossing the bridge over the Chicago River. There's the Chicago River, y'all. I can't answer any messages now, y'all. I'm on live.
We are a part of a movement to drive Trump and Pence from power because we refuse to accept a fascist America in the name of humanity.
That's right. That's right.
As we speak, they're threatening war in North Korea. They're threatening the world and the future of humanity with
regime that cannot be allowed to destroy humanity. And I want you to say with me, in the name of humanity.
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 We refuse.
We refuse
To accept a fascist America.
A fascist America.
Turn this sign around so everybody out there can see that. And I want to call around to all the people who are standing around listening. The sisters over here, the people over here, the people crossing the street. If you know that Trump and Pence are a nightmare, I want you to say with me, in the name of humanity.
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 We refuse. To accept. A fascist America.
A fascist America.
In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
We refuse to accept. A fascist America. We will not stop until the Trump-Pence regime is out of power. Mass, nonviolent mobilizations across the country. We began November 4th. We continue day after day. This Saturday, November 11th, we will be at State and Jackson at 2 p.m. saying no to nuclear war, no to war on Korea, no to Trump and Pence. We refuse to accept a fascist America. Join us. And everybody who's filming and taking pictures, put this up on social media. Put this up and text to 33222. The words no Trump. One word, no Trump. Text 33222 and you will be able to get updated on all of the ways in which you can be part of calling forward the millions to drive this regime from power. Let's march. No! No! No, no, no! In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! No! No, no, no! In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! No! No, no, no! In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! No! No, no, no! In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! No! No, no, no! In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! Rise up, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! Rise up, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! Rise up, there are fascists in the White House! It's up to us to drive them out! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA!
fascism. It says it all right there in the name. Refuse fascism.
Yeah.
If you have not already signed up, you need to go to refusefascism.org. We need to stay connected. We need to become an organized force. Each one of us has a responsibility to do what we can to actually stop this menace to humanity that's got their fingers on the nuclear trigger. Each one of us. Okay, some chanting. Okay, so we're going to keep this march going. Everybody who just encountered this march, if you know that we are in a nightmare of a Trump Pence America, if that's made you sick to your stomach every day for the last year, if you saw Trump in Asia and saw his threats on North Korea and feel like we refuse to live in a world like that, jump in this march right here, right now. And as we kick this back off again, I want people to again raise their fist and say with me, in the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
We refuse. To accept. A fascist America. Okay, this brother right over here. Come on, do this with us. In the name of humanity. We refuse to accept. A fascist America. And Saturday will be at State in Jackson, 2 p.m. saying no nuclear war, no war in Korea, no Trump and Pence. We will not stop until they're gone. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. And now look, we see the signs of a fascist America all around us. We saw it in those armed militias in Texas this past weekend. We saw it in Charlottesville, Virginia. We see it all around us in the people that want to uphold a Trump America that uses open white supremacy, male supremacy, and threats on humanity. I want everybody to say with me, danger, there's fascists in the White House. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. Danger, there are fascists in the White House. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
Americans. This is a regime that is taking us to World War III or worse. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump, no World War III, no fascist. I want to put a call out to everybody who's around listening. The movement we are building and growing is a movement of people just like you, just like us. We're the ones that are going to be able to change the course of history. And you are needed. You are needed now. You are needed today. You are needed to be part of calling forward the millions that will not stop until the Trump Pence regime is driven from power. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the
the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. Drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out.
Okay, so we want to do a little mini rally here of all the people, all the beautiful people that are here in front of me. I want you to cheer for yourselves. Look, here's what we've got here. We've got something where a bunch of different individuals, different people, different ones and twos have gathered ourselves together into something here. We've come from different walks of life. Some people joined in this march even just right now along the way. Some people were there with us when we started at Trump Tower. Some people have been doing this ever since Trump got elected. Some people just got into this a couple weeks ago. But look, what we've done is we've brought something together that's really important. And we're not doing this alone here. We could look around at the people here and go, well, we're just a handful. And on one level we are. But every one of us represents the millions of people who are horrified and disgusted by what this Trump Pence regime is doing to humanity. Every one of us represents the millions of people whose lives are at stake if this regime is allowed to fully consolidate its power. Every one of us represents the millions of people who, if are called into the streets to oppose this, could actually drive it from power. And that is what we intend to do. Now I want to call up some people who have some things to say about this. I want to start with Ramon. Come on up.
Where's the line?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Ramon. It's been a year now of this nightmare. If you're not scared, you better be. Because this man has threatened us with nuclear weapons, threatened North Korea, and possibly the start of World War III. Wake up! If you don't feel this, you don't live in this planet.
All right. April, do you want to speak, April? No, okay. Christina. I know I'm putting you on the spot. Okay. All right. My name is Christina. All right. I am a high school student. We're out here tonight because we have to do something about these fascists. We have to start speaking up. We have to get in the streets. We all know that Trump is this arrogant, possibly demented fascist. Like, there's no other word to describe him. Well, there's multiple insults you can use, but fascist is a descriptor of what he is and what his regime stands for. And we have to recognize that, and we have to start talking about that, and we have to start bringing it up at, awkward, with conversations in our homes and our workplaces and schools. We have to start getting people to understand the reality of what this regime is doing. And we have to get people to take action based on that. We have to get in the streets. Here, let's hang over the cord.
Okay, I've got somebody else who would like to speak. I'm gonna say something. too large. Can you maybe go over there?
Okay.
Oh, I see.
We have to make this a movement, because what we have right now is a beginning. There's, and this has grown since we were over by Trump Tower. There's a lot more people. This is great. We have to do more. Each of us has to go, and we have to bring a friend next time, or we have to bring our mom or our brother. We have to actually do this, damn it. And that's all I gotta say. Woo! Okay. Your name? Okay, we're gonna hear from Brianna.
Well, it's Brianna, and I have a lot to say. Well, first of all, it all started when Trump got elected. I was originally gonna go to the military, right? Then Trump became president, and I decided, no, screw that, I'm gonna get my education. Right, I'm a college student. I still have college debt, and yet there's still a steady an issue. I know a lot of my friends are undocumented, and I'm here to support them, and I support their cause, and I know what's been happening, and I know everything that he's doing. Like, it's ridiculous that our government has become a political joke, and I feel really passionate about this. I'm currently studying for criminal justice, and I plan to make a change, and I'm so not for Trump. We need to make this movement, and it's gonna happen, and it starts with today. All right, all right. I just want to say that I am against Trump, and I know a lot of people that I have brought this issue to, being my people of African American descent. They don't want to support it because they're like, it's not for Kanika, or it's not for, any of our black people who were shot in the streets by police or shot or killed or murdered, however, and it's not been, no one's trying to find out what's going on. But I told them it's a bigger picture, because Kanika died, 2 months ago, and my heart goes out to her family. It's a wrongful death, but it's more Kanikas before that one, and it will be more Kanikas after if we don't get Trump Pence out of office. And I'm going to be here every day with everyone else, and I hope all of us join. We go from to the tens, to the 20s, to the hundreds, to the millions, the thousands and the millions. But we're going to be out here, and I want to be out here every day as well. I feel you should too, in the name of humanity. Thank you.
Hi. I'm Chris Finch.
Hello, Chris.
Proud citizen of Chicago. Just want to say I'm not giving up, and neither should you, in the words of Kate McKinnon's Hillary Clinton. Now, I come to you with this poem that I just shared, just in honor of Refuse Fascism. After walking for 7 to 8 hours, this no fascism gave me big powers. The powers of shouting loud, all of which made me proud. This shouldn't give me the blues. We're gonna be all over the news.
Yeah!
Nothing couldn't be better if I didn't get any wetter then. But wait, there's still some more to come. DT's victory was still fine for some. Nearly a fast freaking year, which drew many a tear. More protests and chants, even if DT is...
I'm sorry, go ahead. Looking over there, I'm sorry to distract you.
More protests and chants, even if DT is told to pull up his pants. Just a little humor there, nothing to give you a scare. To the point, you'll see more in town. We need to bring Trump Pence down.
Yeah! Yeah!
Everyone around me today said no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Hell yeah, we can do this. We still got that bad bliss.
Yeah.
We will still march with pride. So come on down for the ride. So please, no fascist USA.
No fascist USA.
America doesn't work that way.
America don't work that way.
What does work for our country is love and equality.
Love and equality.
I love America.
I love America.
You can't kick me out.
You can't kick me out.
Something I'll always want to scream and shout.
Something I always want to scream and shout.
Dawn and Mike have got to go. Yep, that's what we all know. I love this country as much, if not more, than you do, and don't you ever forget that. I love this country, even though at times it doesn't love me back. In the words of Anthony Anderson, no, refuse fascism, people, and choose love. I love you, Chicago. I love you, America. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna go march back to Trump Tower. But before we do that, I would like to have, let's see, Ramon take this bucket that says donations on it and go through the crowd, and anybody who can throw anything into that bucket, if you've got $20, throw 20. If you've got $2, throw 2. Throw what you can into that donation bucket, because in order for us to make this movement, in order for us to grow it, we got to be able to pay for it. We got to be able to pay for the materials. We got to be able to pay for the advertisements. We got to be able to pay for the sound. We got to be able to reach the millions of people that we need to reach. And it's all of us that are going to do this. If you don't have cash on you, or you can't donate today, go to refusefascism.org and donate online, and then share it everywhere so that all kinds of people are donating to this. If you're broke and you don't have no money and you don't have no job, but you know somebody who does, call them up, tell them to go on refusefascism.org, tell them to donate. Everything counts in this. There's nobody who's going to do this but us. So please make a donation, and let's get ready to march. We're going to march back to Trump Tower, and then we'll end at the tower. Everybody with me to march? I'll give you guys one more minute so you can fish out all your quarters and dollars and 20s and hundreds and put them in the donation bucket.
First of all, I'd like to say good evening again to everybody who's watching. We are here in downtown Chicago in the Magnificent Mile in downtown Chicago in the shopping district. And we're around the corner of Michigan and Chicago Avenue. And we are saying that we refuse a fascist America, and we're pledging for an end to the Donald Trump presidency. And right now, in a couple of more minutes, we're going to start walking and start marching back to Trump Towers, where the march will end for the evening.
In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. To the front. Banner.
We say no from the name of humanity. Refuse to accept this fascist regime. Rise up.
We're about to start marching back to Trump Towers in the next couple of minutes. What they're trying to do is try to get the banner to the front of all of us, so everybody who's up front, all the other shoppers in this area will see. So we're about to go back to Trump Towers in the next couple of minutes or so. We're right here on the corner again, on the corner of Chicago and Michigan, in the Magnificent Mall in downtown Chicago, Illinois. Here we go, y'all.
In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we
name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America.
No! No! No, no, no!
In the name of humanity,
We refuse
a fascist America.
no! No! No, no, no!
In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse
Fascist USA.
Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III, no fascist USA!
Join us, they're fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, they're fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, they're fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, they're fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there's fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there's fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, there's fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us
are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Danger, danger, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
In the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No Trump, no new, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No more, no news, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No more, no news, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA.
in the name of humanity,
Stop the insanity. No bombs, no nukes, no fascist USA. Everybody knows Trump and Pence gotta go.
everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. Everybody knows. Everybody knows Trump and Pence have gotta go. 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 No Trump, no war. No Trump,
No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump! No World War III! No fascist USA! No Trump!
Hey!
No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump.
No problem. No fascist USA.
No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. No Trump. No World War III, no fascist USA. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Join us, there are fascists in the White House. It's up to us to drive them out. Rise up,
We're crossing back over the Chicago River. We're on Michigan. Getting ready to make that right turn along the final leg of the way to the Trump Towers.
White House. Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. Danger, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House. Danger, there are fascists in the White House.
There's the Trump Towers.
In the White House.
headed back towards Trump Towers. A few more steps, y'all.
It's up to us to drive.
There it is.
It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out.
Sorry.
Oh, this way. It's up to us to drive them out. It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, down, fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Keep driving.
Down, fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, down, fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Down, fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
White House.
It's up to us to drive them out. 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 It's up to us to drive them out.
Please, the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Hey, I recited that's so funny.
It's up to us to drive them out.
There are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Rise up, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
Join us, there are fascists in the White House.
It's up to us to drive them out.
No! In the name of humanity!
Stop these
No fascists USA!
of humanity.
Stop the insanity! No bombs! No fascist USA! Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up here. Before we all separate away from each other, again, I want you guys to give yourselves and each other a round of applause. Look, we're doing something that we haven't done before. We're doing something that hasn't been done before. We're driving out a fascist regime. There are millions of people who are horrified by the nightmare of this regime. And there are millions of people and billions of people who will be destroyed by this regime if we do not succeed. There are millions that can be called forward, that can confront their fear, that can bring forward the courage up against the white supremacists, up against the fascists being mobilized throughout this society. We can bring forward millions who act in the name of humanity to drive this regime from power. And we here are the front of doing that. We are the ones calling forward the millions. So on Saturday, make sure everybody has a lot of materials to get out between now and Saturday, 2 p.m., Jackson and State. No to Trump's threat of nuclear war. No to America first. Get the word out everywhere. Let's get everybody we can out at State and Jackson on Saturday, 2 p.m. If you are not connected with Refuse Fascism, get connected. You can go to the website, refusefascism.org. You can get text messages. If you send a text right now to 33222, if you text one word, no Trump, to 33222, you will get updates on all the mobilizations. You will be able to stay connected.
One way or another. If you're not on the, if you can't get text messages, go to the Facebook page, but stay connected. Tomorrow, Refuse Fascism will be at State in Jackson from 4 to 6. We are doing a hashtag #MeToo Speak Out against sexual assault, against the oppression and degradation of women, and against the hatred of LGBTQ. So we want to bring everybody out to that. They can come out to that tomorrow, 4 p.m., State in Jackson. Tonight, until we drive this fucking regime from power.
Egg, you gonna kick it out? 16 shots and a cup up?
We're done.
I love y'all.
We're done.
Big guy, what's up? Hey, what's going on? What's up? Hey.
I ain't seen you since Rosemont. Man, Rosemont was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Justice for Kanika. We still out there fighting for you, baby. Justice for Laquan McDonald. Rahm Emanuel, you gotta go. Van Dyke, you gotta go.
Definitely.
Donald Trump, you gotta go.
Definitely.
You're definitely out here, baby.
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you, Chicago. Hey.
And there you have it, Chicago. Once again, this is Roosevelt coming live. We're in front of ending the Trump Pence, anti-Trump Pence rally tonight in downtown Chicago. We're standing in front of the Trump Towers, right off of Michigan and Wacker. And for all of you all who did tune in, especially that one person who hung in there, I don't know who you are, or at least not right now anyway, not until I see your comments, because I've been kind of busy to see comments. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging with me. And for all of you all who did watch and not subscribe to the channel, be sure to hit the big subscribe button on the right hand corner, and then hit that bell, so that way you'll be alerted on your phone or your tablet through notifications whenever I happen to post a new video, or whenever I happen to go live here on YouTube. Thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for hanging with me for almost these 3 hours. And we are saying no to the Trump and Pence regime. Keep that in mind. Be sure to spread and share this video everywhere. Be sure to spread this video over Facebook, over Twitter, over YouTube, over Instagram, over Pinterest, over Foursquare, whatever kind of social media outlet that you may have. Make sure that this word and this message gets out. Thank you all for tuning in on this evening. Once again, this is Roosevelt, and Roosevelt Sounds Off. I was live here in downtown Chicago at the anti-Trump Pence regime rally. And today is the first anniversary of the nightmare who came in the office of Donald Trump. Keep that in mind. Be sure to spread this message. Let the whole world know that we want to end to this brutal and racist and prejudiced regime right now. Amen. In the name of your darling son, Jesus. Thank you, you all, for tuning in. Appreciate everybody very much. Love you very much. Peace and blessings to all.